Welcome to Mr. College Football. I'm your host, JG3, alongside me, Holden.
What's up, guys? Got a big week coming up. Got to talk about a little bit of last week. But let's get right into things. If you guys enjoy these, please like and sub. If you're listening to our on the podcast on Spotify or other places we're going to have it on, please rate us 5 stars. We will shout someone out next week. So, yeah, thank you guys for all the support. But let's get right into things. Let's talk about last week. Let's first talk about the upset. Oklahoma getting upset by Kansas State.
Yeah, if you guys want to go back to our previous video, I thought that was a very upset-worthy game. And Holden, I don't know if you guys saw it. He said Oklahoma was winning by 30 plus. Everyone.
You know, I trusted Oklahoma. I thought they were going to be a potential college football playoff team.
Yeah, but have you not seen the past 3 years?
Yeah, you were true about that, and it's shown. It's mental. It's surely mental for that team at this point. You can't be losing to Kansas State every single year. So Oklahoma drops. I actually don't know what they are now, but
like 16 or something.
Yeah, so Oklahoma
18 maybe.
They are 18. Yeah, so their chances of the playoffs are gone. You think there's any chance they can get in?
There's a chance. It's a small one though.
I don't know. In Kansas State, touches top 25 right now. So
yeah,
I think that's great. I think I respect it too after an upset like that. But
Ohio State looked really strong against Wisconsin.
Yeah.
On Saturday, and that was a big game, and they handled business well.
Yeah. All right, I mean, there's a couple of things last week, but I think the big one was
Tennessee beating Florida was big.
Yeah, and Tennessee's legit into a college football playoff team. So, and yeah, I mean, NC State top 10 too. So, if I remember right. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of stuff happened last week, but let's get right into this week. So we're gonna change things up a little bit. If you guys have viewed us the past couple weeks, we've done week 1 to 25, but we're gonna try and start kind of times of the games. So if you guys want to tune into certain ones, so we're gonna start off with first game of the week, Thursday night, 6 p.m. ESPN. Utah State's coming to 19 BYU.
I got BYU by a big blowout.
No chance of an upset.
Nope.
Not at all. And I agree with you right there. Utah State's a disaster. The fan base is getting super upset at the quarterback, the coach. I mean, it's a disaster at Utah State this year. So Utah State fans, IU fans, I don't think you guys want to watch this game. It's going to be a big blow up for BYU. So
yeah.
Let's go. We have another game on Friday. So Thursday and Friday this week, guys. Friday we got 15 Washington going to UCLA, both undefeated.
I got Washington. They looked really good against Michigan State a couple weeks ago.
I mean, after that Michigan State game, maybe it was Michigan State being rated a little bit. We already talked about that. Maybe rated a little tie, but I think it's going to be a good game, though, for sure. Both 4-0 teams, but I think UCLA's hasn't touched super hard games yet, and they're going to see this one. Washington is going to go in there and dominate, I think. I don't think it's going to be... I think it's going to be a decent game, but I don't know. Do you think it's going to be a blowout, close game?
Close game, but Washington on top.
Yeah. Washington probably won't touch after this game. It's going to be a good win. I don't think they'll necessarily touch top 10 because a lot of teams still have to lose, but they're going to keep moving up, showing out. Saturday, 10 a.m. on Fox, if you guys are wondering. For Michigan, head into Iowa. And you wouldn't think this game is going to be super interesting, but Iowa against top 5 teams the past couple years have been winning, upsetting, and Michigan actually was one of them at one point, if I remember right. So it's kind of the same mindset with Oklahoma, Kansas State. Do you think Michigan heading to Iowa here?
I got Michigan. I think J.J. McCarthy is too good to let that happen, but I do think it'll be a close game, and Michigan wins it on a field goal.
I respect that take. I can't take Iowa here for the upset. I want to, but I think, Michigan has way more skill than Iowa. And I should be about it, but I think the mental's going to get to them. It's going to be a close game, but I think Michigan will pull out. I think it's going to be something like that, though. Definitely a close game. So try and tune that one for sure. Same time, 10 a.m., Southern Kentucky coming to 14 Ole Miss. both undefeated teams. And a lot of people are actually calling Kentucky not legit. Everyone's saying, why is Kentucky rated so high? Why is Kentucky 7? And I actually agree with them here. And I do think Ole Miss is going to pull a big upset.
Really. I think it'd be super close. And I can see the upset, honestly. Probably would have gone with the upset. But just, make it more interesting for the viewers, I'm going to take Kentucky.
That's fair. So, that's going to be a great game as well. And 2 great games at 10 a.m. And these are mountain times, by the way, for you guys listening. Let's go to our next 10 a.m. game. We have a couple. 18 Oklahoma going to TCU.
On an urgent
TCU is undefeated. Any chance of an upset?
Yeah, there's a chance. I mean, Oklahoma is losing Kansas State, so they're playing a good TCU team to really test them, see if they're actually
and TCU is
going to bounce back. Yeah,
and
it's at TCU, so
they want to be ranked, and they'll definitely be ranked after this game when they upset Oklahoma. I'm taking another upset with TCU. Upsetting Oklahoma at home. No, Oklahoma will not be top 25 next week. TCU will be ranked.
I got Oklahoma. I can't go that big.
That's fair. Our next 10 a.m. game at ESPN 2. You got Purdue coming to 21 Minnesota. Minnesota is sitting at 21. Kind of interesting. Kind of dropping up and down the rankings. Minnesota, do you think any chance of an upset?
Purdue not at all. Minnesota by blowout.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Minnesota is good this year.
And they want to be ranked higher, but people keep disrespecting them. So, it's just, and this is going to be a smaller game. They can show, we can beat Purdue, but we'll see down the line when they have some bigger games coming up if they can show out. So, next game we have at 10 a.m. as well. Texas Tech going to now ranked 25 Kansas State.
I got Kansas State.
Now, this is going to be a big game. Texas Tech has pulled off a couple upsets. Upset last week as well.
But I think Kansas State QB Adrian Martinez is too good to let that upset happen. You watched him versus Oklahoma, he was insane.
Yeah, no.
So I got Kansas State.
And I hate to be the guy that keeps picking upsets, but you guys know I love picking Texas Tech. And I've been right most of the time. I missed one of them. But I'm going to take Texas Tech here for the upset, and they want to be ranked. So I don't know if this will actually get them ranked, but Texas Tech has been showing out lately. So now we move on to our 12 p.m. game, Pac-12. Oregon State coming to 12 Utah. This should be a pretty good game as well.
I think this game is going to be very, very, very close. Oregon State is good this year.
I agree.
People are sleeping on Oregon State.
I agree.
But that being said, I still got Utah.
I can't pick the upset here. I got to go with Utah. They've been pretty solid since their loss to Florida. But they're looking to get top 10. They're 12 right now, so this should be a good win for them to move them up slightly. Maybe touch top 10 next week, so we will see. Our next game, 1:30, CBS. Number 2 Alabama headed to 20 Arkansas. And this would have been a top 10 matchup if Arkansas decided to win last week, but they ended up getting upset.
Yeah.
So
I got Alabama in a close one.
Yeah, and I wish after that Texas game, they had a couple weeks ago. I would pick Arkansas here, but after the loss Arkansas I saw last week, I can't take Arkansas here. I think it's gonna be a good one though, for sure.
Yeah, but Bryce Young has 5 true starts on the road. 4 out of the 5 of them, Alabama, the game was decided by 3 points or less.
Yeah.
So I don't know if Bryce Young can handle it, and it's on the road at Arkansas.
Bryce Young has been playing great this season. It's gonna come down to that defense. They're gonna hold Arkansas. Arkansas's looking good. They rough week last week, but definitely a chance for an upset there, I'd say. Another 1:30 game. Rutgers headed to number 3 Ohio State.
Not much to talk about. Ohio State's offense is insane. Rutgers not so great.
They're decent this season, but
Rutgers?
yeah, they're 3-1.
No.
But
what are their 3 wins? I mean, let me see. I doubt they're gonna be.
I'm gonna take Ohio State here for sure. I think Ohio State.
Okay, their wins. Boston College.
I'm not trying to.
Wagner and Temple.
I'm not trying to give the hand to Rutgers here. I'm just saying they are decent, but it's gonna be.
They're not gonna look decent.
I know it should be a blowout. Ohio State's a really strong team this year, and sitting at 3, so they want to be number 2, and for some reason they don't want to move Alabama. So if Alabama does get upset here, their playoff chances are about gone. So let's go to our next one. 1:30 Fox. A big game here. Number 9, Oklahoma State, coming to number 16, Baylor. Now this, there's a 2-point spread on this. Baylor's favored to win, actually, surprisingly. Baylor's had 1 loss this season to BYU a couple weeks ago. Oklahoma State's still undefeated.
You know, I'm just gonna go with my gut on this, and I got Oklahoma State, but I really have no reasoning for that.
You know, a lot of people are putting a lot of respect on Oklahoma State, which is I'm fine with because I actually will take Oklahoma State here as well. Baylor's got a great rush game, but I think Oklahoma State will stop that. And once they're getting into their passing, it's more or less kind of a mess. I'd say it's still great, one of the top of the nation, but when you're playing Oklahoma State, it's not going to go so well. So
yeah,
I will take 9 Oklahoma State as well. So no upset there, I don't think. Scoring 1:30 game, ESPN, Northwestern, struggling this season.
They beat Nebraska though, and that's funny.
Headed to 11 Penn State.
I got Penn State.
Yeah, Penn State looking great this season.
Yeah,
They're seeing 11 right now. They're going to be top 10 next week because I think there will be an upset somewhere that maybe we're not seeing yet. But Penn State wants to be top 10. So let's go to our next one. 1:30 ABC. 22 Wake Forest going to 23 Florida State. Now Wake Forest was this close to taking out Clemson, which would have been great. They still look great though. Maybe it was
like their QB, Wake Forest QB play is insane, and that's why I think they're gonna come out with the win, going on the road, and they're gonna ruin Florida State's undefeated season.
Yeah, and I actually will agree with you on that. I think Florida State's looking great, undefeated still. Sitting in top 25, they're pretty happy about it, but this is the end of Florida State. They might top 25 later in the season, but this will definitely take them out for a couple weeks. So take Wake Forest there as well. Our next game, 2 p.m. SEC Network. You got 17 Texas A&M headed to Mississippi State.
Wow, I saw that. They have Mississippi State projected to win
by 4.
I don't know if that's because they're the home team or anything, maybe, but I got Texas A&M.
I'm gonna be with you right there too. Texas A&M. They're 17. They keep moving up. They upset. What was it? Miami last? No. That was the other week. They upset.
They played Miami.
No, they played Arkansas last week.
Yeah, but they still play Miami.
And they're just barely moving up. After that.
Lost Appalachian State.
Exactly. So that loss is making all these. They don't want to move them back up, but they are still one of the top teams in the nation. Even though they're 17, I think they're very scary. I think Mississippi State. I don't know why they're favored to win. It's definitely Texas A&M here.
Yeah.
So I think we're on the same page there. 5:30 SEC Network. Number 1 Georgia headed to Missouri.
I got Georgia, but speaking of Missouri, did you see they had the biggest choke ever last week?
I did not see that actually.
There was like 1 second left. Tie game. It's like a 20-yard field goal. They miss it. Goes into overtime. And I can't remember who they're playing, but who they're playing they had the ball first. They got just a field goal, so touchdown wins it. Missouri breaks open a run. Their player drops it at the 1-yard line. If he took one more step, game over. But nobody around him, he just drops the football and fumbles it.
Oh wow.
And they choke.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So Georgia's projected to win by 28 this game, so I will take Georgia, and I think that projection's pretty close.
I got Georgia.
Maybe even more. So our next game, it's going to be a great game, this next one. Top 10 matchup, 5:30 ABC. Number 10, NC State, still undefeated. I've been disrespecting them every week. Going to number 5, Clemson, who almost lost to Wake Forest last week.
Yeah, I got Clemson.
Clemson's projected to win by a touchdown. So you still take Clemson pretty confident after that Wake Forest game?
Yeah, I am high on Clemson. I like Dabo Swinney.
You do talk about Swinney all the time. I'm going to pick the upset here, though. I think NC State, proving me wrong every week. I mean, probably others, too. I think they're going to go in there. Clemson, if they just struggle a little bit, they kind of just fall apart. I mean, Wake Forest dropped, 35 on them?
Yeah.
That can't be happening if you're a top 5 team in the nation when Wake Forest is not ranked that high. So, no disrespect to Wake Forest, but I'm going to take NC State here. I think it'll be a good one, though.
Yeah.
Definitely close. It's going to be a great game. Try and tune into that one if you guys have the chance. Our next one, 6 p.m. ACC Network. Georgia Tech coming to 24 Pittsburgh.
It's not going to be close. Georgia Tech just got their coach fired too. Their program is not looking good right now. I got Pitt.
I got Pitt too. I don't think too much to talk about. I don't know if Pitt will even hold their top 25 spot if some other teams show up. So Pitt might fall out even after a blowout win against Georgia Tech, just because you can't. No competition there. Let's go to our next one. 8:30 ESPN. Arizona State heading to now 6 USC.
And once again on this one, I think it's blowout because Arizona State, they also just got their coach fired and their program's in terrible.
And I would agree. Arizona State's a mess this
And
year.
Caleb Williams on USC and with Jordan Addison as his receiver.
He's looking great.
Is insane.
But a lot of people in the nation are disrespecting USC. You can't really prove too much this week, but we're going to see if they end up ending top 4 and catching a playoff spot at the end of the season. And then our last one, late night, 9 p.m. Mountain, 11 p.m. Eastern. So you viewers there might not be able to watch this whole game, but Stanford heading to now 13, Oregon.
I got Oregon. I
Yeah.
think they're a good team.
Oregon's been looking pretty solid since they lost to Georgia week 1, but Georgia's...
Well, they almost lost to Washington State, I think it was. But they scored 3 touchdowns in the last 2 minutes
Last
or
week
something.
was a mess for Oregon,
But they came out on top, so it was okay for them.
yeah, so
Rip Washington State Holmes had that upset.
yeah. I'm gonna take Oregon here. I don't think it's gonna be that close, but do you think Oregon will be top 10 coming out these next few weeks?
Yeah. Actually, no. I said.
I mean, not next week, but like,
Well, who do they play after? Do they have any statement wins? Yeah, I can find it.
like, I mean, both
So they go Stanford, then to Arizona, then UCLA, then Cal. So really, their good big games are like the last 3 of the season at Washington, Utah, and Oregon State.
yeah. So I definitely think
Maybe at one point crack the top 10, but definitely not within the next couple weeks. Maybe in 3 weeks after they beat UCLA.
yeah, they've been looking good. So I think that's about all we got for this week. So yeah, like you guys, like I said, if you guys are watching on YouTube, please subscribe, please like. If you guys are listening on podcast Spotify, please rate us 5 stars, and thanks guys.